Good evening, BookTube. This is Johnny. You know, every time I say Johnny in these videos, which I've been making for a couple of years, I always want to say, this is Johnnie Ray Keene, my full name. When I was a boy, my mother and my relatives would say Johnnie Ray. I'm trying to get this centered. They would say Johnnie Ray, J-O-N-N-Y, Ray, R-A-Y. Now Johnnie Ray was a singer during the 50s or early 60s, and I think my mother named me. I can't get this straight. What is wrong with this thing? What is wrong with this? Something's wrong here. Well, I can, I'm trying to get this. Forgive me for this disruption. So yeah, when I was, I think my mother named me after the singer Johnnie Ray, J-O-N-N-Y. When I was growing up and into my teenage years, I always spelled my name J-O-N because I never could accept my full name. But now that I'm going on 67 years old, I have accepted the fact that I am J-O-N-N-Y, Ray, R-A-Y. Now, I don't know why. It's because when I was growing up, I never accepted my name or understood the significance of it. I know that in the Bible, you have the Gospel of John, and he's called the beloved disciple. But I don't know the Hebrew name interpretations for John. But I'm not J-O-H-N. I'm J-O-N-N-Y. I always have to correct people when they write down my name. There's no H in my name. It is J-O-N-N-Y. So my name is Johnny. This is Johnny's BookTube or YouTube channel. Now it is a Friday here in West Michigan. It is 9:49. It is the last day of January 2020. It is the 31st. It is a Friday. And yeah, I thought I'd make a video. Like I said in my last video, my wife went back to work after being off for 3 weeks. And she's gone. And I told her if her knee bothers her to call me on the cell phone to go pick her up. So I don't know how she's going to do, because her knee's been really bothering her. It's one thing about growing old, your body starts breaking down. And so I told my wife, call me up if you feel that you have to come home. So tomorrow is the 1st of February 2020. I have my diary already. Tomorrow morning, if I wake up still in the land of the living, I'll be on page 108 for the year 2020. I always feel better when we get into the month of February, because the days become lighter and lighter, that they're not as dark when you get up in the morning. There's more sunlight in the morning. But we have had a very gray, dark, damp, cold winter. It's not been a snowy winter here in West Michigan. It's been very mild winter, which I'm thankful for, because I don't like driving on icy roads or driving through snow blizzards. I remember many years ago, my wife reminded me that I've been retired for 12 years, and I remember I used to work way out in the, not way out in the country, about 15 minutes from where we lived. I had to drive to work out in the country, and I drove through cornfields on both sides of the road. And so when it was snowing, there were whiteouts, and I couldn't see in front of me what was in front of me, and I got really paranoid. And many times I drive through whiteouts and thick fog, and I couldn't see in front of me, and I was just driving blindly, facing certain death. And over the 15 years that I worked in the Hamilton Farm Bureau and the egg division unloading farm trucks with eggs, I faced certain death, but the Lord preserved me through those many years of working. And but in 2007, June the 21st, I got fired from my job for being a big mouth, complaining so much about the long work hours and working overtime. And finally they got sick of me complaining and bitching all the time, and they said, "You're gone." By that time I was kind of glad, because we had new bosses. The people I had worked under were all been fired, and so I was ready for a change. And so in 2007, June 21st, I was let go. And so I've been staying home, reading and writing in my diary. Today, like I said, I wrote out my February 2020 diary. Tomorrow is a Saturday morning. We have Super Bowl weekend coming up. I don't know who's going to really win the Super Bowl. Now, since I'm from the San Francisco Bay Area, I'm rooting for the 49ers to beat the Chiefs. I think the 49ers are more experienced as far as the quarterback, but who knows. Tonight I've been reading Blood Orchid, A Natural History of America by Charles Bowden. I really recommend this book if you want to know about what's going along the Arizona, the southwest border between the United States and Mexico. Read his writings, they're very informative. Today, all I've read today is this book I've mentioned in my last video, The Impossible Exile, Stefan Zweig, At the End of the World. It's like a biography by George Prochnik. Can't pronounce the name, but it was a winner of the National Jewish Book Award for biography. I read this at the Book Nook. As I repeatedly said in these videos, I volunteer at the Library Used Bookstore here in Holland, Michigan, Hendrick Lubbock Public Library, the Book Nook, which is a used bookstore, and I've been doing that for almost 11 years. And I read this when I was at the Book Nook. I brought home from the Book Nook these two books I bought from the Book Nook. Hope Against Hope. I can't pronounce this name. It's from Russian. Nadezhda Mandelstam. It's a memoir translated from the Russian by Max Hayward. And as you all know, I'm into Russian history, especially poets and writers and what was going on during the time of the 1890s up into the Bolshevik Revolution in 1914. So I picked this up today. Translated out of the Russian by Max Hayward. I also picked up this book, at the Book Nook, Moscow Memoirs by Emma Kirsten, Memoirs of Anna Akhmatova and Espen Manzema, The Literary Russia Under Stalin. And so I bought these two books. Like I said, I'm very interested in Russian literary history before Stalin. So I picked this up. I also bought at the Book Nook today for $2, Carry Me, Birmingham, The Climatic Battle of the Civic Rights Revolution by Diane McWhorter. I'm very interested in the civil rights revolution, civil rights movement, because I'm a student of the 60s and American history in the civil rights movement. So I picked this up for $2 today. I found out this won a Pulitzer Prize. So I picked this up today. I'm all for civil rights. And I picked up this biography of Barnum Circus. You can see the circus on the front cover by Robert Wilson. I collect books. This is called Barnum, An American Life. It's a biography. Now we know that just recently Barnum Circus disbanded. There's no longer a circus, but I remember when we lived in Houston, Texas, back in the 80s, we went and saw the circus, and it's all gone now. It's disappeared. So I picked this up today. They were going to throw it away because it's all underlined. And since I collect books on the circus, it's too bad that things kind of die like that. So I picked this up today. They're going to throw this book away because it's all underlined. But I said I take it home because I collect books on the circus. It's too bad that people, I know today at the Book Nook, I saw several books that we could sell at the Book Nook, but because they were underlined, people had underlined them, they had to be thrown away. People are not going to buy books that are underlined. Why would you spend money on a book that's all marked up? So, but they gave me this book because they would have to throw it away. And since I collect books on the circus, I took it. See, it's all underlined. Too bad. So, I went to the Book Nook. I got out about 1:10 in the afternoon here in West Michigan on a Friday. I came home. I got books in the mail today. And the books I got in the mail today, I had pre-ordered this book, American Dirt, by Jeanine Cummins. I had got this book because I had been reading Bud Orchid. Sorry, something just spilled. Nothing serious. Yeah, I poured myself some water because I get a dry throat. So, yeah, I've been reading Blood Orchid, A Natural History of America by Charles Bowden. And he covered, when he was alive, he died a couple of years ago, he covered the drug war between Mexico and the U.S. border, between Mexico and the United States. And I wanted to read her take on it, American Dirt by Jeanine Cummins. So I had pre-ordered this book. It came in the mail today. And then I had ordered this book, used, by Eliot Weinberger, Oranges and Peanuts for Sale. These are essays. I was reading a literary site and they recommended his essays. He's primarily a translator and a poet. And it sounded very interesting. So I got it used today in the mail. And then I ordered this book used, The End of the Tsars, Russia, The March to World War I and Revolution by Dominic Lieven. See, Lieven. I'm very interested in Russian history, especially from 1890 to about 1950, the Cold War. So I picked this up from the Hamilton Books for about $3, and I got this in the mail today, so I look forward to reading it in 2020. So that's what I got in the mail today. That's what I got the Book Nook. That's what I'm reading. So yeah, now it's 10:03 at night here in West Michigan on a Friday. I got stuff. I spilled my water all over the place and I gotta clean it up. So I gotta close before it drips onto the floor or the carpet. So yeah, I noticed I've been getting new subscribers and comments, and I try to, I'm getting thirsty. I gotta drink some water. I try to respond to all my comments, and if I somehow do not comment or respond to your comments, please forgive me. One reason why I'm into BookTube and YouTube is that I enjoy interaction with my subscribers, that I want to not just make videos and show you the books that I get at used bookstores or thrift stores or the Book Nook, but that I want to have some kind of interaction, because as you all know, and watching my videos over the last couple of years, I'm a hermit type. I'm very introverted. I'm very shy. I don't really have any much interaction with the dead American world, the wasteland. I'm kind of living in this house in Holland, Michigan, and I read books, I collect books, I write in my online diaries, I read the Bible, and before I close, I wanted to read from one of my favorite chapters in the Bible, which is from the New Testament epistle of the Ephesians, the epistle of Paul to the apostle to the Ephesians. This is chapter 5 of Ephesians, which is one of my favorite chapters in the Holy Bible. And I just want to read the first 7 verses before I close. On the last day of January 2020, the 31st, it says, therefore, be imitators of God as dear children, and walk in love as Christ also has loved us and given himself for us as an offering and a sacrifice of God for a sweet-smelling aroma. But fornication and all uncleanness or covetousness, let it not even be named among you as fitting the saints. Neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor coarse jesting, which are not fitting, but rather giving of thanks. For this ye know, that no fornicator, unclean person, nor covetous man who is an idolater has any inheritance in the kingdom of Christ and God. Let no one deceive you with empty words, but because of these things the wrath of God comes upon the sons of disobedience. Therefore, do not be partakers with them. Ephesians 5, verses 1 through 7. If you want to read a good exposition of Ephesians 5 from the 17th century English Puritans, read Thomas Matten's in his complete works. I have his complete works down the lower level, 21 volumes. Highly recommend them. Check them out. So I've got to clean up this mess. Water is leaking everywhere on the dining room table, and I will close to the next time. Tomorrow is a Saturday. This weekend we have the Super Bowl. I'm going for the 49ers. As I have said, since I'm from the Bay Area, I consider myself from California, a West Coast, San Francisco Bay Area kind of guy, because I was born in Oakland, California in 1952. So before I close, hope you have a good weekend. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the new subscribers. Until next time, may the Lord bless. Bye.